You mentioned the 2009 grand final and also that, the Tigers game in 2019, opening of Combank Stadium, or Bank West as it was known then. Um, what is there any other Eels moments that stand out for you that you just think they're just awesome moments and never forget them?
Or I'd have to go back to 2009, the game against the first week against the Dragons, obviously getting pumped the week before and then coming into that game. I guess that I come back to that Jared Hayne try.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure that was that game or maybe the game before, but that's just etched in my memory. 2009 is a big one because that Bulldogs game as well at Accor
that's it.
Stadium,
Yeah,
that atmosphere there was just insane, just insane. So
yeah,
I'd say that 2009 game as well. I'm just trying to think. I mean, I've been to so many now.
yeah.
Um, the Broncos game, the finals at Combank, that was a nice win there as well by the boys. I won't forget that one.
No, 58 nil. That was a great afternoon for sure.
For us, yes.
Yes, not so much for the Broncos, and they certainly us para fans don't let them forget that either. So, um, yeah, no, that was a great result. That one. Obviously, season 2022 last year rates pretty highly up there for yourself and many other Eels fans. Despite the result in the last game, do you think it still was a successful season for Parramatta?
I personally I think so. Um, Everyone kind of was asking me. So the day before the grand final, we're at my partner's side of the family, so predominantly they're Penrith, and we're in the Penrith area. So obviously I went in my para jersey naturally,
Smart.
just to
Yep. Good.
stir everyone up, and they were obviously very confident and were like, "Oh, do you even think Parramatta's got a chance?" And I said, "You know what? It may be a stereotypical Para supporter answer, but I said, I'm so glad we got here. If we win, that's amazing. But
Yeah.
if we can't, the fact we made the grand final, I don't think too many may have thought that we would have made it. So I was just enjoyed the ride.
Yeah, definitely. And it was great to see the NRLW women's team make the grand final as well. Massive achievement. Two teams in the grand final.
Absolutely. You know, when the NRLW team was announced, like that's the goal, right? To get both teams into the grand final. Unfortunately, it wasn't the results that we wanted, but just to get both teams there, and especially with the NRLW team, um, you know, a couple of seasons in,
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned Hindy there before. Probably ranks up there as probably my favourite eel. Um, who have been some of your favourite Parramatta Eels players from the past that you've enjoyed to watch play?
Luke Burt, Nathan Kalis. I really enjoyed when Tamana Tahu played
Oh yeah,
with us
yeah.
too. Who else? Felipe Mateo, even though
Oh yeah.
he used to scare me, obviously with all his flick passes. Um, Gave me a little bit of anxiety there a few times, but you know, you weren't too sure what he was going to do on the field, so I really loved watching him. Um, who else? Fui Fui. I
Oh
think
yes.
when he went over for that try, 2009 grand final, I think I nearly lost my voice at that stage, being in ANZ at that time in the stadium. I think everyone kind of had their hearts in their mouth when he went over for that try.
It's one of the greatest grand final tries ever.
So we might be a bit biased, but
Well, yeah, but I mean, still a front rower. I think he was what 30 meters out or so, and to score over in the corner, it was a great effort. I mean, a lot of people talk about um, was it George Burgess in the 2014 grand final and his try, but that was right up the middle, and still it was a barnstorming run. But Phillies, that was amazing, and there was almost a little bit of a comeback there from after that try, and a belief that he'd get that win.
It was they kept the dream alive a bit longer, but unfortunately, obviously, didn't happen for us that year either. But
Yeah, unfortunately. What about these days? Do you have a favourite or favourites in the current team?
oh, it changes actually.
Okay, yeah,
Um, I really enjoyed watching Sean Lane play last year. He had a phenomenal season. King Gutho always Mr. Reliable. He's always good to watch. Dylan Brown, which we've re-signed him, so that's good. Um, I think I've got to put these two in the past players now, which
okay, yeah.
I still it still hurts a little bit. Obviously, Reed Marnie and Isaiah Papali'i. I guess the 2023 season hasn't started yet, but obviously they're no longer in blue and gold. So I really enjoyed watching them play.
So of the new recruits that we've got for 2023, who are you most excited to see pulling that blue and gold jersey?
Jermaine Hopgood,
Yeah, a lot of
I
raps for
think,
him.
absolutely.
Yeah,
It'll
and
be very interesting to see how he fits into the team. And obviously coming from Penrith, um, it was good banter between my partner and I because I was like, yes, we got it. Jermaine from Penrith. So definitely very excited to see him play.
yeah, for sure. And I think he'll probably get a opportunity first up round one with Ryan Madison suspended. So I think he'll slot into that lock position for sure, and I even get a little bit of a taste of what's to come with Jermaine representing the Indigenous side as well. So in next week or the week after, so that should be pretty good. If you could sign one player from the past or current come to the Eels, um, and don't worry about the price tag. There's nothing to do with that, so don't worry about that. Who would you want to see play in the blue and gold, either past or present?
Oh,
If you had an open checkbook,
hmm.
is there a player that
It's
stands out from another team currently that you might think of signing?
oh, I keep coming back to Cameron Smith. I know
Yeah,
that that's can be quite controversial, but I mean, I think it speaks for himself, to be honest. Oh, any any current probably. I would have said Turbo, but obviously he's still injured. He's recovering from injury.
yeah.
I always enjoy him when he plays. Tedesco, as much as I love Gutho, seeing Teddy kind of pull on a blue and gold jersey, I think would be fantastic. So yeah,
It's hard, isn't it?
it's hard. It's so
To
hard because
pick.
I'll probably get off this call with you and think of 10
Yeah,
other players.
yeah. No, back in the day, I would have loved to have seen Brad Fittler play for Parramatta, and I think there
Yeah.
might have been a rumor, or it could be true, that there was a little bit of talk about him coming to Parramatta at one stage, but yeah, it wasn't to be. And just recently, we saw on Instagram Quade Cooper
Oh,
talking about 2010 and the chance that he was coming to the Parramatta Eels, and it all went pear shaped, and we didn't see him in blue and gold, so he would have been great to see in blue and
the
gold.
one that got away.
Yeah, what could have
Yeah.
been could have certainly turned those fortunes around. What about Eels coaches from over the years? I mean, from the time that you started supporting Parramatta, we've probably had Brad Arthur most of the time. Um, what are your thoughts on Eels coach Brad Arthur?
I I like him. I think he's been very consistent over especially over the last few years in terms of, we've been playing consistent finals footy. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously there'll probably still be that pressure. Obviously, we haven't had a premiership for a long time. Not in my lifetime, unfortunately, and people tend to like to remind me of that fact. Hoping one day we get there, and I'm hoping with Brad Arthur at the helm that does happen, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Now, say hypothetically again, Brad retires from coaching, not sacked, retires, and wasn't the coach of the Eels. Who would you have as the head coach of Parramatta Eels?
Oh, I mean, oh, very good question. I believe Nathan Kalis is doing some coaching, isn't he?
Yeah, he's assistant
Yeah,
coach and New South Wales Cup
he's
coach.
yeah, he's back. So I would love to see him as head coach, definitely. Um, I mean, obviously Craig Bellamy, what he's done with Melbourne, you know, again, speaks for itself.
Absolutely, yeah. Yeah.
So, I don't know how Parramatta fans would feel about if, God forbid, that ever came to fruition with Craig Bellamy. I don't think so, but yeah, I think um, current coach that's obviously at Melbourne, it would definitely be
Yeah,
Craig Bellamy would be at the
yeah,
top.
for sure. Uh, have you got a favourite piece of Eels memorabilia that you've got from over the years? One that really sort of stands out, one that you really sort of love?
Oh, I mean, obviously the last season that Hindy and Luke Burt played the Hindmarsh jersey, and I got that signed as well. So that holds a special part. I haven't actually got it framed. I do have it. I think I wore it for that last game in
Okay,
2012, and
yeah,
it's just been put into the cupboard along with my other multiple jerseys that I have. Another piece of memorabilia, which is probably not too much, but when I turned 21, my dad got Hindy to sign a poster done.
okay,
It's
nice.
the team poster at that time, which was a complete shock to me anyway that he managed to get that done. I did obviously I went through uni, I did sport management, and I actually did an internship with a development team back then.
Okay,
That was a few years ago now. The development, like going out to the schools and
yeah,
helping there. Probably not my forte, but it was great experience just being around the club, and my dad being, um, the social butterfly that he is and will talk to anyone. He managed to speak to um, one of the officers that was kind of like helping me and was the one that helped me with the internship. So she managed to get the poster
yeah.
to Hindy. So that was special.
Nice. You'll have to go out to his cafe at, where is it, Glenwood? I think it's Glenwood, the tuck shop, and
Yeah, definitely.
he pops in there here and there and has a coffee, no doubt. So yeah, is there a former player, a former Parramatta Eels player that you'd love to speak of having coffee, meet and have a chat about the good old days?
I mean, I keep coming back to Hindmarsh, don't I?
Yeah, yeah,
um, Hindy, Luke Burt, who else? Oh, even like Sterlo. I'd love
yeah,
to just sit and have a chat. Obviously, I wasn't around in the 80s, so I never kind of obviously watched all the replays of all the old games, but not being around, at that time, just to get his thoughts and just that time at Parramatta.
Yeah,
in the
definitely. That'd
80s.
be a great sit down and chat to Stulo, and as you said, learn about the '80s and the time then, and the golden era, as people like to call it. The Eels, the '80s, the team of the '80s, 4 premierships, as everyone keeps on reminding us, no doubt.
And
Uh,
the wooden spoons as well.
yeah, we don't worry about those ones. Um, as a Eels fan and member, what are your expectations or hopes for what do you hope that the Eels achieve in season 2023? I mean, obviously, a grand final wins right up there, but um, if that wasn't to be, what are your expectations?
I would love to make top four again. I don't know if that's being too optimistic, but I think every team at least likes to finish in the top eight to make finals. So I think definitely finals. I try not to put too much expectations for the start of the season because obviously, you never know what can happen. Injuries, touch wood, no injuries, but you just never quite know how the dice will roll because it's a long season. So definitely finals footy.
Yeah, for sure. And we've seen Parramatta be a successful finals, making the finals every year. I think in the last 8 or something like that, except for one, obviously 2016 and 18. Um, every other year we've made the finals. So hopefully, yeah, I agree. Top fours should be the goal, and then anything can happen from there. So it's about 7 days or something now till round one against the Melbourne Storm at Combank Stadium. Can't wait for that one. Thursday night, kick off the season. So bit of friendly family rivalry there for yourself.
It is. It is. Though my brother now lives in Queensland,
Right, okay. So that's all right then.
so that's okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. That's it. Well, we'll wrap things up with the set of 6 questions, which I call like the personality questions. They're a little bit to do with rugby league and other stuff as well, but just a bit of fun stuff. Favorite holiday destination and why? Where do you like to
Oh,
get away to?
oh, look, I managed to go to Europe in 2015, I think it was. So I loved Italy, Rome, Florence. Where else did we go? I managed to get to Pompeii
Okay.
and see all the ruins. I love kind of ancient history,
Yeah.
especially obviously going through high school. Love doing ancient history. So to be able to see Mount Vesuvius and then all like the ruins in Pompeii was very interesting. Loved Rome, just obviously, seeing all the normal sites at the
Yeah.
Colosseum. I'd love to do another tour of the Colosseum. So Italy definitely, I think, is probably at the top of my list to go back.
Yes. It's definitely on my list of trying to get there one day. Definitely. What's the pizza like over in Italy? I've heard it's not the same as here.
It's not the same. However, I went for a period before I went that I kind of just went off pizza. But
Okay.
when I went over there, I came back. Obviously, it's not the same, but I definitely enjoyed eating pizza and gelato. I
Yeah.
think I ate my weight in pasta, pizza, and gelato.
Yeah, no, don't blame you. Love those two things for sure. Now, when the footy's finished for the year, is there another sport that you like watching over summertime?
So, yeah, so I do follow the Wanderers. My partner's been a foundation member, like since the beginning. Actually just signed up. He got me a 3-match membership for Christmas.
Okay. Yeah.
He downgraded his full season membership down to 3-match. So that's something that we'll do together. Actually, on Sunday we'll be heading off to the game. So
Nice. At least you know where it is.
yeah, that's right. That's right. So yeah, just the Wanderers. I not too many. I mean, I do follow AFL. My mum instilled the love of the Sydney Swans from a young age. So
Yeah.
I do follow the Swans, which obviously that's same time as the league season, so I don't get to as many games, unfortunately.
Yeah.
But definitely those three
Nice.
are my teams. Yep.
Now, I'm going to know one of these players, but if you take out the players that you've mentioned, so take out Hindy, take out Birdie, um, if you had a barbecue and you could invite three Eels players, past or present, who would come along and why? So take out the ones that we've mentioned.
Okay. I can include Dylan Brown in that, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Dylan Brown, I think definitely it'd be a lot of fun. I follow him on Instagram and he always seems to be, he's a bit of a character. So I think Dylan Brown would be fun. Reed Marnie too, I think same.
Yeah, okay.
Same reason. And third person, who would we go? I'm choosing all current players. So I think I'll stick with Gutho, I think.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, nice balance.
Yeah, nice trio there. A lot of entertainment there, no doubt.
Yeah.
I saw on last night's news, Dylan Brown, he was a bit of a character. He was saying about how he loved having Trent Barrett at the club, former 5'8" half, and if you tell him to kick the ball, he can actually show him how to kick the ball. And then he said, if Brad asked me to kick the ball, I wouldn't listen to him because he can't kick a ball. So, bit of banter there. So that'd be quite a great barbecue to be at. What is your favourite sporting documentary or movie? And it could be it could be a serious one, or it could be a comedy. It doesn't have to be a serious one. But favourite sporting documentary or movie?
Oh, haven't watched too many sporting documentaries recently that come to mind. Like sporting movie. Oh, I
It
would
can
probably,
be like can be a comedy as well. Some great comedy sporting movies out there.
I think Happy Gilmore is when you say comedy, Happy Gilmore definitely comes
Yeah.
to mind. Adam Sandler. Um, Probably the only time I'll watch anything golf kind of related. Is Happy Gilmore. I loved Coach Carter, the
Okay. Yeah.
basketball movie. Yeah, I think that
Yeah. Yeah. No, a couple of classics there.
those two.
Definitely. Um, what would have been the first concert that you went to?
Living End at
Oh,
the Enmore
nice.
Theatre. Oh, I think I was 17. I was 17. So
Yeah.
it's
No,
a few
nice.
years ago now, but
Yeah.
yeah,
What?
definitely. I still remember, and we actually saw them eating pizza beforehand,
Okay.
before the gig. So that was still etched in my memory. That was a great night.
That's probably a little bit uncharacteristic, isn't it? Having dinner before the gig. I must have been hungry.
Oh, yeah, they must have. They had like an over hour set, so they've got to keep their energy up.
Yeah, that's it. What's your favourite Living End song?
Um, it's too many,
Yeah.
too many. Yeah, not. But I've always like for me, it's not necessarily a song. I love bands. Like I still listen to. I'm the type of person that will listen to the same music from like 20 years ago.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah, no, the classics never die. I'm a bit of an 80s music man myself. Don't mind the 80s music. Um, just it's a, just quickly back to sporting documentaries. Would you like to see the Eels do a Tiger Town sort of documentary?
Definitely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't actually had a chance to watch the Tiger Town. I was meant to, and I just hadn't got around to it. So I would definitely think any fan member would love to see their team do something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it certainly was different and shed the Tigers in a different light, that's for sure. But as you said, it'd be great to see the Eels in that sort of light and go behind the scenes and just see that. It could be a bit intrusive, but yeah, you never know. Maybe one day. That was an extra question, so it was actually a seven tackle set, that one. I just thought I'd throw that one in, but um, yeah, so seven tackle set, that one. Well, Lauren Thomas, thank you very much for coming on the Paracay podcast today. I really enjoyed the chat, and I love listening to rugby league fan stories, and especially Eels fan stories. Thank you for your chat today, and no doubt I'll catch you at Combank Stadium maybe in a few weeks' time, round one.
Awesome. Absolutely. Thanks, Troy, for having me. Definitely see you there round one.
Go Para.
Go Power.